my channel tonight. I'm gonna do another 8x10 and I'm gonna do it on a flat panel canvas using all my Nova color paint. I love this paint. Betty Krause art, if you've ever followed her, she's amazing. I'll put a link in the description box down below. She is fantastic. I've learned so much from her, and she uses exclusively Nova color, and once I bought them, I understand why. They're fantastic. So I'm going to continue on with another 8x10 tonight. I'm doing a series of 4. This was one of them out of the series. Actually, that's upside down. There we go. And this was the first one that I created. So I created this one while I was sitting at the gallery volunteering my time that day. And those videos I'll put in the description box below, or I'll link them up at the top. So these are the 2 I've made so far. I'm going to do another one in the series. I'm going to do a total of 4. So tonight it would be my 3rd one. So I hope you enjoy and follow along, and let's get going on this. For starters, I'm going to use some mark making tools. It can be something as simple as colored pencils, China markers. You can use pastels. You can use chalk. You can use crayons. So whatever you want to start putting some scribbles down and kind of get your juices flowing. That's what I've always taken away from watching Betty Krause videos, is that, you know, just getting in the motion, just laying down some color and getting yourself in the motion, so that you're not looking at just a blank canvas as well when you start out, because that can be actually quite intimidating. So just getting some color down to kind of get your juices flowing of where you want to go with your next step is always a great move. Now, when you start painting over in different areas, oh, my China marker just broke. When you start painting over in different areas, you can, while your paint is still wet, you can take the back of your paintbrush even, and while that paint is wet, kind of scratch into it, make more marks. You'll be building texture on each layer as you go. Maybe put down some more pencil markings, just to, not everything is going to show through, of course, but you will get some of that coming through on different areas of your painting, and it really adds a lot of texture and interest, which is just amazing. You'll see. So start out with some mark making, and then you can either go into your cool colors or your warm colors, but don't mix the two. So if you're going to start out with your cool colors, stay in your blues, greens, yellow goes both ways. But let that dry before you go on to your yellows and your reds and pinks and whatnot, because otherwise you'll have mud. So that's kind of the key also. But don't forget, keep the mark making in between. It is really cool, adds a lot of visual interest. The colors I have been using in this painting have been pretty consistent. It's been phthalo deep blue. I've used some neutral gray, some Payne's gray, phthalo turquoise, the light blue green, and then I've used a cadmium yellow, medium. And I've also used, for my red, that really adds a pop of color in this painting, is this red. It's beautiful. I use this straight, and I learned that also from Betty Krause. If you mix it with white, you kind of get not such an attractive color for some reason, but straight out of the jar, it is brilliant, bright, and beautiful. So that's pretty much the majority of the colors that I have been using. Oh, and maybe also cerulean blue. So I'm kind of mixing those, and I'll mix them with some gesso and some yellow to get some different hues and some green out of that. But that's kind of the color palette that I've been working with for these paintings. Starting off with the Payne's gray. I really like this to be the underlayer A lot of times I will use black, but I really think that this color is lovely in the background setting of this painting, or all the series of paintings here. And of course, you're not thinking too much about composition here. You're just trying to cover the canvas. Maybe thinking of, you know, segmenting out your painting of quiet and loud areas. So I typically do the corners, the center, and then I'll implement some other colors in here in just a minute. I think Payne's Gray is just, oh my gosh, it's definitely one of my favorite colors. And it's so versatile. And you mix it with other colors. It's just amazing. So now I think I'm gonna go on to some cerulean blue, but I am not going to rinse my brush. I kind of just have some of these colors mixed together a bit so that they become kind of melded. Get a little bit of gesso down as well, so I could start mixing my blues with some gesso to get a couple different tones and hues. See a little bit of phthalo deep blue in there. Such a pretty color. Okay, now while that is still nice and wet, I'm gonna just scratch into it, scratch the heck out of it. I wanna give it some texture. And see how we're bringing through some of that underlayer color. I can see green and yellow from our mark making. It's gonna build depth. It's very cool. Now, when you let this dry for a little bit, you're also going to get all the texture from those lines of, you know, scratching into that paint. It's going to be so cool. So from this point on, I'll probably go ahead and fast forward the video just a little bit. Otherwise, we might be hanging out together here for a little longer than you'd like. I mean, I enjoy your company, but we don't want to make the video so long that we bore you. I'll put some music with it, the best that I can find. If it's not your style, please just hit the mute button and put on your own tunes and follow along and enjoy. And let's go on a little paint journey. It's always fun. So I'm going to come in close on this one as well. Just really a joy to paint. I hope that you all sit down and get your paints out, get inspired, and just go with it. Go with the flow and enjoy the process. And if you don't like something, wait for it to dry. Cover it up. No big deal. Start all over again. It's just paint, people. Enjoy it. But you can see all the texture from scratching into the wet paint, letting that dry for just a little bit. And I'm not talking letting it dry for overnight or anything. It's just, you know, maybe 40 minutes at the most, half hour, something like that. And then come in and start going right over it. It's not like you gotta let it dry for days or anything. Acrylic paint is very forgiving, very easy to cover up. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this video too. I will post one more because I want this to be a series of 4 of 8x10 hues of blue, I guess you could call it. So I really hope that you did enjoy this video. Stick with me and I will see you next time. Give me a thumbs up. It helps my ranking. I appreciate it. Take care, everyone.